You're welcome.
You rock.
How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good.
It's so good to see you again.
You too.
Oh, what a great day. I've had an awesome day of mentoring. So, did you share did you
Haven't done anything yet.
share a bit?
No, haven't started because I was waiting to get the screen.
Okay, so I'm going to stop my share so that you can do
Okay.
yours. Hey everybody.
Hold on. I think I have to make this window smaller. 1 second.
By the way, has everybody got your phones on mute?
There we go. Yay. All right. Can everybody hear me? You can just do this or wave. Okay, well, you can hear me, Christy. I don't know if the other two people can hear me.
Okay, let's see if anybody's writing any messages in the chat.
I'll leave the chat messaging to you and then I'll just get started. Well, let's see. I don't want to start without anybody being able to, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I'm sure people would have gotten hold of us if they couldn't hear us.
All right. Okay, so welcome everyone and thanks for waiting. That was so generous of you to do. My name's Christine Unterthiener, and if you can't hear me, please put that in the chat or find a way to let us know. I'm the creative director with Pilot, and we're branding navigators, and I'm one of the two, I'm the other C in 2C Success. And I think probably both of you know Christine Till, but before we start, I was gonna have anybody ask any questions that they might have, but I think we've gone over all the logistics. So why don't I introduce myself, then you introduce yourself, and then I'll review. Does that work for you, Christine?
Sounds awesome.
Okay. So my background, I started in the publishing industry, and let me know if I'm too loud or too soft. Christine, I'll just let you manage me. I started in the publishing industry a long time ago in Calgary. And we were an oil and gas publication and went out every 2 weeks. So you can imagine that was a hustle and bustle. What I really got from working there was the foundation for everything I have today. I learned about traditional printing, I learned about layout, I learned about design, I learned the principles of good design. And then I went on to work for a printing company there and also did sales and really got them caught up on like really had them be a going concern. And then I realized, I grew up in Bermuda when I was younger and I had visited Vancouver and a friend said, come out and live here. And I did. And I just went, oh, I miss the ocean. I love it out here. And when I moved here, I ended up working with Douglas College in New Westminster. I don't know if all of y'all are from the Lower Mainland. And if you're not, it's an area in New Westminster. It's I think it's 2 cities away from Vancouver proper. And while I was there, I was fortunate enough to be in the communications and marketing department, and we rebranded the college at that time during my time there. And it was the most amazing thing I could have ever been part of, because it really showed me the depth and breadth of what it takes to rebrand an organization that big. And it was just so great to be part of that team. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I hung out my shingle about just over 15 years ago. I realized I love design. I love producing things. And lately I'm really getting to realize I want to empower people who aren't 100% comfortable either with social media or being on the computer or new technology, and then connecting that to what do they really love to do and what's the essence of who they are and how do they bring that forward into the world. So that's kind of a snapshot of me. I'm going to hand it over to Christine and then we'll come back and I'll review.
Awesome. Well, I was literally dragged into online marketing systems, basically social media, kicking and screaming back in May 26th of 2009, because I was working for an organization, a company that provided home care services for seniors. And their own research showed that 73% of the time seniors made decisions, the kids were involved. And usually it was the gals. But where are the gals at 10 o'clock in the morning when my boss wanted me to do a presentation at a local senior center? They're at work. And our own discovery was that they were phoning us at night and leaving messages on our answering system asking for help to find solutions. And they would find us, they would find the website online. And so they wanted us to come and talk to them about what kind of services that we could provide to help ease the stress that they were feeling, because they were working and had careers, had children, and their aging parents, and they were squished in the middle of all of this. And so I was talking to my oldest son, Michael, and he's a software engineer. And he worked for Microsoft for many years, and he had a podcasting show. And he said, Mom, why don't you just start a podcast show? And I went, okay, sounds like a great idea. I had no idea what that was going to entail. So I did. I called it Elder Care 911, and I became the elder care specialist. And I signed up in one day on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, got my blog set up, got my podcasting system all set up, and I literally felt like my head was going to pop off. It was unbelievable, the stress, the pressure that I was feeling. But I was on a mission, and I had to prove a point to my boss that this would work, that he needed to be doing more time, spending more time marketing online, that he needed to allow me to have time to market online and to do evening presentations and weekend presentations. So the very first interview I did was with a lawyer, and we talked about wills and powers of attorney. And I had all my social media connected to my Podblog site. So as soon as I published that interview, it went out to all my social media. And within about 45 minutes, we had a response back from a gal on Facebook who said, oh my gosh, I had no idea something like this was available to help me with my 95-year-old dad. And so that proved that, and it blew me away. I had never been on any social media, never tried it before this time. And so I showed my boss, and he still refused to pay me for any online marketing time. So I continued to do that for the rest of the time that I was working with that company, and just about burnt myself out because I was doing 6 to 7 podcast interviews a week and doing my job at the same time. So it was, all the podcasts were at nighttime and on the weekends. And I did put on 2 seniors conferences and put on 2 or many evening presentations as well. They all had to be on my own time. So we finally agreed to disagree, January the 4th of 2011. And shortly after that, the Marketing Mentress was born. And what I did is I took all my sales and marketing traditionally that I had been using for the 20 plus years I'd been in sales and marketing, and I applied it to all my online systems. And I had a coach. I would never be where I am today if I didn't have a coach. And to this day, I have a coach. Now, my coach now that I had back then doesn't know as much about LinkedIn as I do. So the kind of a coach I have right now is helping me with the business side of my business. So I just accidentally fell into my brand, and things just sort of evolved. And I didn't have a really good marketing specialist like Christine Unterthiner to help me with my branding. In fact, I was thinking today as I was driving here from my mentorship session, because I have people that I mentor on a regular basis, and I'm thinking I've got to hire Christine to see what more I can do with my brand, because it's so much more than just your logo. Your brand is who you are, who you are with your business, and what is your why, and that's all part of your brand. And what makes you tick? What inspired you to start your business? How do you think of your customers? How do you treat your customers? How do you dress? How do you present yourself when you go in public, when you go to networking meetings? It's all your brand, not just the logo. And as I've been in business, I've come to know that it is so much more. And I was at a networking meeting earlier today, and I realized from that meeting that I sat there looking, it was a women's meeting. I sat there and I sort of glanced around the room at all the women in the room, and they all have a business, and they all want so desperately, they have a dream, and they want so desperately to make their dream work. And I looked at how they were dressed, and I thought, just if you didn't know the person, just looking at how they're dressed, which ones would I work with? And this isn't being discriminatory, it's a subconscious thing. So almost we have to dress for success. We have to look the part, and that's part of our brand. So if I went in my cowboy boots and blue jeans and smelled like horse manure, I don't think many people would want to do business with me as the marketing mentor. Maybe if I was a horse trainer, but even then you wouldn't want to be smelling like the barnyard. So I am the marketing mentress because I've had to work really hard at it, and I continue to evolve with my brand. So what I've learned from this experience is that it would have been so much nicer for me in the very beginning if I had had somebody to sit down with me and really thoroughly explore where I wanted to go with my business and what I wanted my brand to be, what was my inspiration, what was my why, all of those kinds of things. And Christine is awesome. She is, the way she does branding, she has such a depth that she goes through with all of her clients. And after I met Christine, I really wanted to include her in this series. And I approached her a while back saying, let's do a series. And what I do is marketing, but I realized that marketing isn't all we need for our business. We need to build that know, like, and trust. And if you think about some of the logos out there, Coca-Cola, what does Coca-Cola mean to you? It's not just soda pop. It's a feeling. We know that when we go to Coca-Cola, we know what to expect for flavor. We know that it's consistent. It's always going to be there. And if you Google Coca-Cola's business page on LinkedIn, there's a whole bunch of different ones because there's a head office in every country in the world. But if you find the one that's from Atlanta, it is phenomenal what they've done with their company page on LinkedIn. And it's true to their brand. All the pictures that they have on there, everything that they post, it just reminds you of what Coca-Cola stands for. So that said, we'll move into our next steps, shall we?
Unmute my audio. Here we go.
Okay.
Now, good. So we're gonna just, sometimes we hear from you what had you be here today and what's important to you about social media and so on and so forth and why you're at the webinar. But because we started a little late, I'd like to just move on to recapping what we've already covered so that the rest of the time can be spent with Christine on LinkedIn. And if you do have any questions or, as I said, you're welcome to put them in the chat. You're welcome to put your wave at us and say, hey, I really want to know something. Or at the end, there'll be time as well, hopefully, to do that. So I'm going to skip forward and just talk about how the session is going to go. I'm going to do a quick recap of the first 3 sessions, and that'll take about 10 minutes. And during that time, I am going to expand a little bit on how to brand using social media, but I'm just going to touch on the basics, and then I'll hand it over to Christine, who will dive into recapping a bit of what she did, and then end with, I believe you're going to delve further into groups and then possibly some other things on LinkedIn if we have time.
Okay, there's
So,
new things happen.
And then we will wrap by 5. So if we're not done, yell at us. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So what is Christine's really already touched on this to some degree. A brand and branding, what's the difference? Well, a brand is the essence of who you are. And you could be one person or you could be an organization. It doesn't matter. To say it in another way, it's the personality or the value system that makes everything tick. It's what you're founded on. Um, so your logo, as Christine said earlier, I don't know why it's not, sorry, my slides aren't, there we go. The logo, the tagline, the website, anything that you do in social media, those are all branding. So every time you put something out there, you're truing it up to match that essence of who you are, the personality of your brand. So when you think of, like, you know, what people, I'm going to use an example. Often people think of Disney as being creative and family and fun, and so those are the words that come up for people. So Disney will want to have everything lining up with that. I mean, there's a whole bunch more there, but this, again, this is just a recap. So it's really, who are you, what do you stand for, why are you doing what you're doing, and then all of the things you put out there, does it line up with who I am? Because you're unique, you or your organization are unique, so you want to keep bringing that forward. There's nobody else like you on the planet. So be that person and be the best you that you can be. That way, when anybody looks at your logo, your tagline, your website, and so forth, it all lines up with that message. So then during the second part of our session, we went over I mean, there's hundreds of social media platforms out there. We reviewed a few of them and talked about how to choose the one that works for you, or there may be several. So there's 3 questions that you can ask to either get yourself started on social media. Most people are on it, so I'm probably, preaching to the choir. But these can also help you hone what you're doing now if you're already on social media. So you want to ask yourself, does the platform serve your brand? And then, oh, sorry, I didn't organize these. Eek. Who is my ideal client? So you want to look at, who are you talking to? Who do you want to have walking through your door, or picking up the phone and calling you, or being on your Skype meeting, or coming to your webinar? Who is that person? And then where are they hanging out? Are they hanging out at, do they like to chat and go, kind of like at Twitter? Do they like to, where are they hanging out? Do they go on LinkedIn? That kind of thing. So you want to really look at where they're hanging out. And then, are they looking for something specific? And if so, what are they looking for? And are you a fit for them? And so then once you have the answers to all that, then you can start building your brand on social media. Now you want to also look at who's building it. Who's building your brand? Is it just you? Or, oh my, I apologize. Is it you, your internal team, or are you outsourcing it? If it's you, then you got to ask yourself, how often am I able to do this? And does it fit in my schedule? And what do I want to say? Sorry, I'm just going to move you guys over because your faces are all right in the middle of my screen. And then how can you stay consistent? And you even want to do that with your team. So those are the things that are important to ask your team. And you want to also ask yourself, how can you, if it's not you that's going to be writing the content, how do you impart that through your team, especially if you're outsourcing, if it's not an internal team? What I do, I have one client who, he wants articles out there, and I said, and he doesn't want to write, he doesn't have time, but he's really good at getting his message across through speaking. So the solution that we've come up with is, I interview him, I write the articles, and then we post them. So he doesn't have to do any writing. He does do keynote speeches during the course of the year. And so then what he does is he has those recorded, and I get those, transcribe them, and then we write from there. So we break down all the things that he's doing. So there's always a way to get yourself out there when you're using a team, whether it's your internal team or your external team or your virtual assistant, or if it's you. Sometimes I find for myself, um, ideas come, and often if I don't have the computer or a notebook or whatever, my phone is right there, so I turn on my record button and get the ideas out. So that's one way to do it. Um, the other thing about staying consistent is when Chris, and to give you an example, really like have it fit your schedule. Because when we first started talking about the webinar and getting ready for it, Christine said, let's post every day, Monday to Friday, and we'll alternate. I'll go, you go, I'll go, you go. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I got caught up in the energy of it, and I was all excited. And then about a month went by, and I went, I can't do this. It doesn't work with my schedule. She's got amazing tips and tricks for LinkedIn and was able to post that often. But the articles I was writing, I would begin writing, I would sort of write something, and then three other ideas would come, and it would take something for me to do this. So I ended up posting less, and she kind of took over more. And so we found our balance, but so it's really like, be brutally honest with yourself. Can you really fit that schedule that you're agreeing to? And it's your schedule. You get to change it anytime you want. So then the last bit is, and then I'll give it over to Christine, because we're probably, let me just check the time. Okay, we're good. It's all about your content. Is it valuable and is it shareable? You've probably seen content out there that you just kind of go, well, okay, they just keep trying to sell me something. I'm not interested. And you pass and you pass and you pass. The people that you probably share or value are the ones that give you that valuable information, or that little nugget that you go, oh, I didn't think about that. And it's so valuable to you, and it makes a difference for you. So ask yourself, is it valuable and shareable? There's nothing wrong, as Christine will say, with, and she has a formula for this, so I'm going to leave that for her, but to share, to make an ask, but there's a way to do that, and I'll have her share that in a bit. Or maybe, do you want to jump in now, Christine, before I'm just about done?
Okay, that's fine. I'll just quickly say, um, I'm not sure which formula you're talking about. Are you talking about my rule of 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so for every 10 posts that you put out there on your social media, 6 of them are reposts. So you're posting, you're sharing, reposting great material from other people. It can be TED Talks from YouTube. It can be great quotes from Abraham Lincoln, for instance. And then 3 of them are your own. So that would be your own blog. And 1 is a pitch. So for every 10 posts, 6, 3, 1. So it could be 10 posts a week or 10 posts every 2 days. The goal is to work toward 10 posts every 2 days. So that your pitch, you're putting a pitch out there every other day, 5 days a week. And that's my formula.
Thank you. That's awesome. And again, just really wanting to emphasize, tie everything back to the brand. Even, on a side note, even if you're gonna share other people's content, this is one of my favorite ways to start a new conversation. You can share somebody else's content, tag them in it, especially if they have a bigger platform than you or a wider reach than you. It helps elevate what you're saying. And then when you tag them, you can let them know, hey, I've shared this, blah, blah, blah. And then it also helps you make another connection. I find it's such a great way to meet new people. And I've really loved doing that myself. The other thing too is, if you're going to use humor, make sure you're 100% sure that it works and that it works for your audience, because humor is very subjective. and it doesn't always work. So, and it may vary from region to region, even within a country, let alone being different different countries. So that's one that I wouldn't touch very often myself. And then mix up your posts. Visual content is important. If you can add a picture to your post or video or both, then do that. They say that articles with images have 90%, 94% more views. So definitely do that. And then I think it's almost, yeah, I am going to hand it over to Christine. She basically will talk about the basics of networking, and then maybe we should skip that part, Christine. Do you want to just go right into talking about LinkedIn and the groups, or
Yeah,
what do you want
let's
to do
do that.
next?
Let's do
Okay.
that. So you want to
All
stop
right.
sharing your screen?
I'm going to mute. Do you want to share then from now going
Yeah.
forward?
Okay.
Okay, we'll do. It's all yours.
Okay. There we are. So this is just part of branding. The having your tagline and being what I would like, and this is what I talk to all my clients about, and I wanted to just touch on this first before I go into the groups. If a person is going to start being active, going to networking meetings or being online, it is so important to have a consistency throughout all of your platforms so that people see that consistency, and then they know, it builds that know, like, and trust, so that they know what they can expect from you. So what you see on my LinkedIn, you see on my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram, and I just signed up on Tumblr and my Google Plus and my blog and my website. So I might have a different headshot on different sites, but my coach that I'm working with right now has told me, Christine, you got to get the same headshot on all your sites. So I've been working on getting those all transferred over. And not all sites will accept the same size headshots. So I've had to get my headshots re-digitized so that they'll fit on the different platforms. But on my headline, I talk about the LinkedIn expert, trainer and speaker, marketing strategist, helping businesses make money, unleashing the power of LinkedIn. And this is part of your brand. And this is what tells people what you can offer them, how you can help them. And you have 3 seconds, just 3 seconds. They look at your headshot, 1 second. They look at your name, 1 second. They look at your headline, probably a little bit more than 1 second. But you got basically 3 seconds to make that great first impression on LinkedIn. If any of these things fail, they will not go and read the rest of your profile. They won't. And if they see you've got some posts, that'll be, oh, great, but you know where they want to go? They want to go straight down to your summary. So they want to find your summary. They want to read about you, find out what makes you tick. And your summary needs to contain your why, your dream, what inspired you to do your business, to start your business. And the big secret to LinkedIn is in the groups. And if you want to get into your groups, you hit the interest tab. By the way, we're recording this, so I will send this recording out to you when we're finished, after I finish getting it edited and whatnot. So you go down here, you click on the groups, and I'm just going to show you what the groups are like in the back. And your groups will be listed. All the groups that I'm in are on the right side of the screen. And my most active groups are at the top. And if you look at this little number, it goes by the number of conversations each day in each group. So highest to lowest, okay? And so it's just the top 5. And then up here you'll see your groups. Now this is discussions that are happening in some of your groups. And this, where it says My Groups, if you click on that, this is the groups that either you own or you are managing. So my group is this one, the Marketing Enthusiasts. These other three groups, I've been working with them to help their groups become active again. Because what LinkedIn did last fall is they changed the algorithms and almost completely killed the groups. Because you used to be able to go into the groups and send messages to people that you weren't connected to. So you could go into the group, you could do a search and find all kinds of people that would be possible clients for you and start building a relationship with them. And by being able to send them, they call it in-mails, by being able to send in-mails to these people, you could take the conversation to a different medium and start talking to them through not a different medium, but a different form on LinkedIn, and start talking to them. And that messages would start coming through your messaging system. So what happened is they turned that off. So before, when you were on the free platform, you could send as many as 300 to 400 messages in a day through the groups to people you were not connected to. So you could send them an in-mail. When they turned that off, it completely shut off that communication link. And the biggest reason they turned it off is because they have over 400 million members on LinkedIn. Only 18% of those members are on a paid platform. Now, at some point in time, the piper has to be paid. And a company cannot afford to continue to provide a service for free to people without being able to earn something. They have to be able to pay the people that are doing their programming. A programmer or a software engineer, like what my sons are, they get $125,000 at least annually in US funds. And so when you add how many programmers they have to pay all those people. It's a huge payroll. So sometime along the line, they've got to be making money. So what happened when they did that, when they turned off those in-mails, what was happening in the groups almost died. The conversations almost died. This group right here, Connect Me, is a group of lions. And if you don't know what lion means, LION means LinkedIn Open Networker. And this has a little over 1,700 members in it, and we're gradually starting to get a little bit of activity in here. But it has been like pulling teeth from a stone to try and get it active again. What used to be a really busy, active group has just gone dead, almost dead. The Seattle Business Network just broke 400 members. It's a baby, just a starting one. And it went dead, but it's now livened up. We're getting a lot more people into this. So we're at 409 members with this group, which is phenomenal. I mean, when it went from absolutely dead. And so we have people posting in here, sharing their stuff, and from the Seattle area. And remember this little back arrow, this is your best friend. So whenever you do a search in the groups, hit the back arrow, and it'll take you right back to the previous page. And then this digital consumer group is a group that was set up for digital marketing people. And so there's all kinds of digital people on here. There's software engineers, there's companies, and they're all posting great stuff. And of course, because I'm one of the managers of this group, I'm posting on here too. So here's the thing. We cannot, if you're not on a paid platform, you cannot send these messages to people you're not connected to, or in-mails, in other words. But you can still go into the groups and you can post things in the groups. And you can request. So direct mail, still the workhorse. I'm going to like this one. And if somebody makes a comment in there, you can just say in there, So Rick is the guy who made this post, who's put this post up. Hey Rick, can you get in touch with me, please? I'd like to connect with you and see if we can find ways to collaborate. And that's sort of a backdoor way of getting to these people to get those conversations started, so that you can start building that know, like, and trust with individual people. Remember, these people on LinkedIn are people. They're just like you and me. They have feelings. They need to be able to know somebody. They need to like us. They need to build that trust before they're going to do any kind of business with us.
Christine, I have a question quickly.
Yes,
To post in the group, do you need to be a member of that group in order to post or comment?
yes, you do. You need to join the group. Now, so let's take this to on a little bit of a different angle here. So I'm going to go into, you can do searches of the groups by this little drop down menu here, and you just click on groups and you can do a search. So let's say that, like for instance, I know a gal, one of my new clients I just got a new client a couple weeks ago from Florida, and she's what you call a patient advocate. She's worked as an RN for many, many years, and she saw how especially seniors and people of other cultures were having challenges communicating with the medical teams at the hospitals. And she found herself intervening and helping with that communication over and over and over again. So now that she's retired, she's started a business on patient advocacy. So let's do a search for nurses. And right away, LinkedIn will show you some groups, but the thing is, there's not very many that it shows you here. So you click this little, I call it the hourglass, but it's actually the magnifying glass. and look at these groups. You've got American Nurses Association. There's 69,000 members here. There's Jobs for Nurses. There's API Health Network for doctors, physicians, nurses. This would be a really great group for her, 41,000 members. ENA, Emergency Nurses Association, that would be another great group, 13,000 members. You notice that these groups have over 10,000 members. And unless the group is a group that you know everybody in that group is your ideal client, you don't want to join any groups less than 10,000 members, because I'm going to show you how to do an advanced search on the free platform, and then you can save that search. I'll tell you a secret. I have some searches that I have saved on my LinkedIn, and I have close to 300 new leads sitting waiting for me to get in touch with, because of these searches that I've set up on LinkedIn through the groups and through my second and third and first connections. So LinkedIn is huge. It's a huge lead generation platform for us, but not very many people know how to use this lead generation. So you want to join the groups that are going to have the key people in them for you. So let's say I'm not a nurse, so the Nurses Association probably wouldn't be, and I'm not.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt for 1 sec. We're at 10 to 5, or I guess 10 to 6 Mountain.
Okay.
So unless, if you guys don't have any questions, we could go right to 5, I think. Because I think what you're talking about right now is really valuable. Do you guys agree? Okay, we've got one nod there. I think there's 2. So I'm gonna give you. Do you want a 5-minute warning or a 2-minute warning, Christine?
Give me a 2-minute, please. Just
Okay,
put your fingers up.
the
Okay.
next time you hear this, it'll be at 2 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So let's say I want to join the API Health Network for doctors and physicians. So then what I would do is click this join. Now, I have to wait to be accepted into this group. So it's not going to just automatically bring me into the group. Before there used to be closed groups and open groups, but now they're all closed groups. So I have to wait until I get accepted into the group before I can start posting in the group. Because this is media and marketing professionals worldwide. This is not, that's a different group. So you get the idea of how to find people in the groups that you're looking for that might be your ideal client. Another one that I do searches for on a regular basis, and I'll just quickly do this, health and wellness. And I coach health and wellness people a lot because these people are really having challenges trying to figure out how to find clients on LinkedIn. And so what they do is they join LinkedIn, and then they go and they find all the health and wellness groups, and they join all the health and wellness groups. And I go, so all those people in those health and wellness groups, aren't they looking for the same kinds of clients you are? And they go, oh, yeah. Well, maybe it'd be a good idea to join different groups. And so who would need your products and services? So let's say we have somebody who sells vitamins and supplements. Well, the kinds of groups they would want to join would be groups where they have small business owners. And so you could do a search for small business. Oh, look at this, Staples Small Business, 150,000 members. There's 120,000 for Small Business Network startups. Linked Small Business, 40,000. So there's tons of businesses that you could join. And then what you're looking for in those businesses is CT Small Business Toolkit. So I'm going to join this group. Now, some of them will ask you to click on another icon in here, but I have to wait for them to approve me on this one too. So I joined the group. So as soon as that approval comes through, then I can, because you'll see in your regular mail, you'll get, you know how you get in your regular mail, the email that you used to sign up with LinkedIn and join LinkedIn, that email will show you all the responses that you're going to get on LinkedIn. And so the same with Facebook and Twitter, the email that you use to sign up with each of those platforms, that regular email will show you notices that are coming through all of those platforms. So you'll look for when you get accepted into the group, such and such a group has approved you. You have been approved for such and such a group or something like that. That's what it'll say. So, or it'll just say approval for, say, Staples Small Business Network. I'm already in this group. When it says post, that means I'm already in the group. And this one says join, so that means I'm not approved yet. So as soon as you find that it says post, then you know you're accepted. Another way to find that you have been accepted into the group is if you scroll down to the very bottom of your profile and you go to your group section, it shows you, so I'm in 71 groups, it looks like. So you'll see where you're not approved yet. There. This is an unlisted group, LinkedIn trainers, but I am in that group, so it's okay. Trying to see why they're waiting, if there's any waiting approval. Oh, it looks like they haven't even got those groups that I just joined listed. So it means that they're still waiting approval. So once you get into the groups, then you can start looking at doing searches. So this little advanced button, see that little advanced button? You click on that, which I did. And so what are we going to be searching for? We're going to be searching for small business. And the location, you don't want to say anywhere. You want to say located in or near. And if you're searching in Canada, for instance, and most of our people tonight are from Canada. Or if you have a postal code that you want to search by, you can put that in there. And then, but then you want to know, okay, what am I going to search through? Am I going to search through my first connections, my second connections, my group members? Oh yeah, I'm going to do my group members. Oh, let's see, which groups am I going to do right now? I think I'll do digital marketing and let's see, maybe I'll do Lionesses Worldwide, .NET developers. Let's see what I'm going to do. Best practices, business intelligence analytics. Okay, those are all really big groups. And so, but let's say I want to narrow down my location a little bit more to Alberta. Okay. And we could put company size, we could put seniority level. So I could put in here paid training, entry, senior, manager. So I could put manager if I wanted in here, but I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Past companies they work for. And then we could do a search. But here's what I want to do. I want to save this search. So click on Save Search. And another window will open up. And this is the one we want, small business. We've got all the parameters. So we can do, I'm on a paid platform, so I like to get daily reports. But on the free platform, you get a weekly report. So then you just click on accepting. Click on this little arrow so it can be accepted in. Looks like my internet is slow. And then you just click close. And the search is all saved for you. So I'm going to just close that right now. And we'll just do this search. Where's my other search? There we are. I moved it. Oh, they're making me type it in again. Okay. Sorry, no results. So let's do business owner.
Two minutes.
Okay. So here's a bunch of people. We got 50,000 results for business owner. So we need to make this a little more finite in our search. So what we can do is we can change this to, we can have business owner in or near, but let's go down here and just do group members. And then go down and select groups that we want to search. Where do my groups go? Here they are. So we'll do digital marketing on startups. Okay, and now we're going to search. Oh, that's much easier. 1,063 members. So this guy's in British Columbia. This one's in Vancouver, Ontario. So you can just quickly scroll down here. And if you're just looking for connections in Vancouver, it's really easy to do that. Another thing you can also do is you can add Vancouver here or Edmonton. We'll just do Vancouver, Canada, and we'll do another search. So 116 results. Isn't that cool? So this narrows it down to a more bite-sized chunk. And as you do searches, you're using the groups just to mine your groups. And I want to just mention before we close here, make sure that when you join a group and get accepted into that group, you go and adjust the emails to no email. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting 600 emails a day, and there's no way anybody can manage that without having a personal assistant working full-time at it for you. Any other questions?
Well, I think I want to know how we would mine the group. So that may be another webinar because we're done today.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There is a lot. And I think these are such valuable webinars. I just, yeah.
Yeah, and just to tell you guys, what Christine and I are planning is we're planning in the fall to do a live workshop in Vancouver. And depending on how the registration goes for the Edmonton area, we're looking at doing a live full day workshop in Edmonton too. So they'll both be full day workshops where people can come, bring their computers, actually get to work and get to the nitty gritty of getting all their branding in place at the whole 9 yards and getting their LinkedIn set up. If the LinkedIn is the most important one. Once you've got your LinkedIn set up, then it's easy to take what you've done on LinkedIn and copy that to your other platforms so you have the same presentation, basic presentation for your whole brand. And I'm Christine Till, the marketing mentress.
Here I am talking and you can't hear me because I muted myself.
I saw you.
I wanted to thank you for participating. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to email us. I don't have a slide to show you because I don't have the screen anymore, but I think you all, you know how to get a hold of us somehow. So thank you.
And thank you for coming today. I hope we were able to help you with some ideas.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.